Introduction. You are not responsible for other people's emotional chaos. Read that again. You are not responsible for managing your coworker's anxiety. You are not responsible for absorbing your partner's anger. You are not responsible for fixing your friend's crisis every time they call. You are not responsible for how your silence makes someone else feel. But somewhere along the way, you started believing you were. And now, you are exhausted. You feel everything. You carry everything. You absorb moods like a sponge absorbs water. Someone walks into the room frustrated and suddenly you are tense. Someone criticizes you and your entire day collapses. Someone needs something and you drop everything, even when you have nothing left to give. This is not empathy. This is emotional entanglement, and it is destroying your peace. This audiobook is not about becoming cold. It is not about shutting people out or pretending you do not care. It is about learning to care without collapsing. It is about staying connected to others without losing connection to yourself. Emotional detachment is not indifference. It is mastery. It is the ability to stand in the middle of someone else's storm and remain calm. It is the ability to listen without absorbing. It is the ability to say no without guilt, to set boundaries without explanation, to walk away from toxicity without looking back. This book will teach you how to unhook yourself from other people's emotions, expectations, and drama. You will learn how to stop overfunctioning in relationships. You will learn how to protect your energy without feeling selfish. You will learn how to be present without being pulled under. You will not learn theory. You will learn systems, scripts, strategies, real-world tools you can use today. By the end of this audiobook, you will be emotionally untouchable, not because you stopped caring, but because you finally learned how to care without carrying. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Emotional Sponge. Why you absorb everything micro-story. Maria sits at her desk, staring at her computer screen. Her manager just sent a terse email. "We need to talk." 3 words, no context, no follow-up. Immediately, her chest tightens. Her mind spirals. What did I do wrong? Is this about the report? Am I getting fired? She refreshes her inbox obsessively. She cannot focus. Her hands shake. She is no longer in control of her emotional state. 3 words from someone else now control her entire afternoon. Later, her coworker vents about his weekend. He is angry, loud, emotionally charged. Maria listens. She nods. She feels his frustration seeping into her body. By the time he leaves, she is irritated, even though nothing happened to her. That evening, her partner is quiet, distant. Maria immediately assumes she did something wrong. She asks, "Are you mad at me?" He says no. She does not believe him. She spends the rest of the night analyzing his tone, his body language, his silence. She is exhausted. She did not start the day this way. But she absorbed everyone else's emotional state, and now it is hers. This is what it means to be an emotional sponge. The psychological mechanism. Your brain is wired for emotional contagion. Mirror neurons in your brain automatically mimic the emotions of people around you. This is not a flaw. It is a survival mechanism. For thousands of years, humans needed to sense danger in the group. If someone panicked, you needed to panic too. If someone was calm, you could relax. But in the modern world, this system backfires. You are surrounded by people who are stressed, anxious, angry, and emotionally unregulated. Your brain absorbs their states without your permission. You walk into a room and within minutes you feel what they feel, even if their emotions have nothing to do with you. This is called effective empathy, the ability to feel what others feel. It is automatic, it is involuntary, and if you are highly sensitive, it is exhausting. Most people never learn to turn it off. They go through life absorbing every emotional frequency around them. They mistake this for kindness. They mistake this for connection. But it is not connection. It is entanglement. True emotional intelligence is not just feeling what others feel. It is recognizing what you feel, where it came from, and deciding whether or not to carry it. Real-world examples. Example 1. The workplace absorber. Your coworker is stressed about a deadline. You are not on the project, but you feel their stress. You start working faster, you feel anxious, you check in on them. You offer help they did not ask for. By the end of the day, you are drained, and you accomplished nothing on your own work. Example 2. The relationship overfunctioner. Your partner had a bad day. They are quiet. You immediately assume it is your fault. You ask what is wrong. They say nothing. You do not believe them. You keep pushing. You analyze. You try to fix. You absorb their mood and make it about you, even though it never was. Example 3. The family fixer your mother calls. She is upset. She vents for 40 minutes. You listen. You feel her pain. You give advice. She does not take it. She calls again the next day with the same problem. You feel responsible for fixing her emotions. You are not her therapist. But you act like one. And it is killing your peace. Exact scripts. What to say. What not to say. What not to say. Emotional overinvestment. I can't stop thinking about what you said. Are you mad at me? I feel like I did something wrong. Let me help you fix this. I just want to make sure you're okay. What to say. Emotionally detached clarity. I hear you. That sounds hard. I trust you'll handle that. I'm here if you need me, but I'm not going to carry this for you. That's not mine to fix. I'm stepping back from this conversation. The difference. The first set of phrases makes you responsible for someone else's emotional state. The second set acknowledges without absorbing. Practical exercise. The emotional boundary check. This exercise takes 2 minutes. Do it every time you feel emotionally drained. Step 1. Pause. Stop what you are doing. Close your eyes if possible. Step 2. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? Is this feeling mine, or did I absorb it from someone else? Did I feel this way before this conversation, interaction, or email? Step 3. Name the source. Say it out loud or in your mind. This is not my anger. This is his anger. This is not my anxiety. This is her anxiety. This is not my problem. This is their problem. Step 4. Physically release it. Shake your hands. Take 3 deep breaths. Say, I release what is not mine. This may sound simple. It is. But repetition rewires your brain. You train yourself to recognize when you are carrying emotions that do not belong to you. Key takeaway. You are not a trash can for other people's emotions. You are not a therapist. You are not a savior. You are a human being with limited emotional bandwidth. Detachment is not cruelty. It is clarity. You can care about someone without absorbing their chaos. You can listen without carrying. You can be present without being pulled under. The emotional sponge identity must die. What replaces it is someone who feels deeply but chooses wisely. Someone who knows the difference between empathy and entanglement. Someone who stays grounded no matter who walks into the room. That person is emotionally untouchable. Chapter 2. The Guilt Trap. Why you feel bad for saying no micro-story. James receives a text from his friend at 10 p.m. Hey, can you help me move this weekend? I know it's last minute, but I'm in a bind. James has plans. He was going to rest. He has been burned out for weeks. He needs this weekend to recharge. But the moment he reads the message, guilt floods his body. What if he thinks I don't care? What if he gets upset? What if he stops inviting me to things? James types, yeah, no problem, what time? He hits send. Immediately he feels resentment. Not at his friend, at himself. He just said yes to something he did not want to do. Again. Saturday comes. James spends 6 hours carrying furniture. His back hurts. He is exhausted. His friend thanks him, then leaves. James drives home in silence, furious. He gave up his rest for someone who did not even ask if he was available. And the worst part, he will do it again next time. This is the guilt trap, and it controls more of your life than you realize. The psychological mechanism. Guilt is a social emotion. It evolved to keep you connected to the group. In tribal times, rejection meant death. If you said no to the group, you risked being cast out. So your brain developed a punishment system, guilt. It makes you feel bad for prioritizing yourself over others. But modern life distorts this system. You are not in a tribe anymore. Saying no to helping someone move will not get you exiled. Declining an invitation will not leave you alone in the wilderness. But your brain does not know that. It still treats every boundary you set as a potential threat to your survival. So it punishes you with guilt. Here's the problem. Guilt is supposed to activate when you do something wrong. But for emotionally entangled people, guilt activates when you do something right, like protecting your time, energy, and peace. This is called false guilt, and it is one of the most toxic patterns you can carry. False guilt convinces you that your needs are selfish, that your boundaries are cruel, that your rest is laziness, that your no is a betrayal. And the more you obey false guilt, the more it controls you. Real-world examples. Example 1. The chronic yes person. Your coworker asks you to cover their shift. You are exhausted. You say yes anyway. Later, you feel resentful, but you do not blame them. You blame yourself for feeling resentful. The guilt cycle deepens. Example 2. The guilt-driven caretaker. Your parent calls and complains about their life. You listen for an hour, you give advice, they ignore it. They call again the next week with the same complaints. You feel guilty for wanting to end the call. So you stay on the line. Your evening is gone. Your energy is drained. But at least you are a good child. Example 3. The boundary-phobic partner. Your partner wants to spend every evening together. You need alone time to recharge. But when you suggest it, they look hurt. You immediately backtrack. Never mind, I can stay. You sacrifice your need to avoid their disappointment. Over time, you lose yourself. Exact scripts. What to say, what not to say, what not to say. Guilt-driven agreement. I guess I can do that. It's fine, don't worry about it. I don't want to let you down. I feel bad saying no. Maybe I can move some things around. What to say, guilt-free boundaries. I'm not available. That doesn't work for me. I can't take that on right now. I appreciate you thinking of me, but no. I'm going to pass this time. Notice, no explanation, no apology, no justification, just a clear, calm no. The guilt trap relies on your need to explain yourself. When you explain, you open the door for negotiation. When you negotiate, you lose. A boundary is not a discussion. It is a statement. Practical exercise. The 24-hour no rule. This exercise reprograms your guilt response. Use it every time someone asks you for something. Step 1. Do not answer immediately. When someone asks you for a favor, time, or energy, pause. Say, "Let me check my schedule and get back to you." Step 2. Sit with the discomfort. Notice the guilt rising. Notice the fear of disappointing them. Do not act on it. Just observe it. This is your brain trying to protect you from rejection. It is not truth. It is conditioning. Step 3. Ask yourself 3 questions. Do I actually want to do this? Will this drain my energy or refill it? Am I saying yes out of desire or out of guilt? Step 4. Respond from clarity, not guilt. If the answer is no, say no. If the guilt returns, remind yourself, I am not responsible for managing other people's disappointment. Repeat this process every time. Over time, your nervous system learns that saying no does not kill you. The guilt weakens. Your boundaries strengthen. The guilt detox. What you need to hear. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to protect your time. You are allowed to disappoint people. You are allowed to prioritize yourself without explanation. Guilt is not proof that you are doing something wrong. Sometimes guilt is proof that you are doing something right, something that breaks old patterns, something that protects your peace, something that honors your true needs. The people who love you will respect your boundaries. The people who do not love you will punish you for having them. That is how you know who belongs in your life. Stop apologizing for taking care of yourself. Stop explaining your no. Stop negotiating your boundaries. You do not owe anyone access to your energy. You do not owe anyone your time. You do not owe anyone your emotional labor. You owe yourself peace. And sometimes peace requires disappointing others. Key takeaway. Guilt is a manipulative emotion when it is disconnected from actual wrongdoing. Most of the guilt you feel is not real. It is learned. It is conditioned. It is a leash someone else put on you, and you have been holding it for them ever since. The guilt trap keeps you small. It keeps you obedient. It keeps you drained. Breaking free requires one radical shift. You must become okay with other people being upset with you. Not because you want to hurt them, but because you refuse to hurt yourself to keep them comfortable. That is emotional detachment. That is freedom. That is power. Chapter 3. The Expectation Prison. Stop living for other people's approval. Micro story. Sophie is getting ready for a family dinner. She has been dreading it all week, not because she does not love her family, but because she knows what is coming. Her mother will ask about her job. Her aunt will comment on her weight. Her cousin will brag about his promotion. And everyone will have an opinion about her life. A life they do not live. Sophie stands in front of her closet, paralyzed. What should I wear? Will they think this is too casual? Too much? She changes 3 times. She practices answers in her head. She prepares defenses for questions that have not even been asked yet. By the time she arrives, she is already exhausted, and the night has not even started. She spends the entire dinner performing, smiling when she does not feel like it, agreeing when she does not agree, shrinking herself so no one feels uncomfortable. She says what they want to hear. She hides what they do not want to see. She drives home drained, angry, and hollow. She gave them the version of herself they expected, but she left the real her at home. This is what living for other people's approval does. It turns your life into a performance, and you are the only one who suffers. The psychological mechanism. Human beings are wired for belonging. We are social creatures. We need connection to survive. But somewhere along the way, you learned that belonging requires approval, and approval requires performance. So you started shaping yourself to fit other people's expectations. You became what your parents wanted, what your friends admired, what society rewarded. You learned to read the room and adjust accordingly. You became a chameleon, constantly shifting, never still, never yourself. This is called external validation dependency, and it is one of the most exhausting ways to live. When you live for approval, you are not living your life. You are managing other people's perceptions of your life. You are not making choices based on what you want. You are making choices based on what they will think. And here is the trap. No matter how much you perform, it is never enough. Because approval is not stable. It changes. What people praise today, they criticize tomorrow. What they celebrate in one person, they resent in another. You are chasing a target that never stops moving. And while you are chasing it, you are losing yourself. Real-world examples. Example 1. The career performer. You stay in a job you hate because your parents are proud of your title. You do not quit because you are afraid of disappointing them. You are not living your career. You are living their expectations of your career. Example 2. The social media validator. You post a photo, you check the likes obsessively. If the engagement is low, you feel worthless. If it is high, you feel temporary relief. But the relief does not last. You need more. You are addicted to external validation. Your self-worth is now controlled by strangers on the internet. Example 3. The relationship shapeshifter. You change how you dress, talk, and act depending on who you are with. With one friend, you are loud. With another, you are quiet. With your partner, you hide parts of yourself they might not like. You do not have an identity anymore. You have versions, and none of them are real. Exact scripts. What to say, what not to say. What not to say. Approval-seeking language. What do you think I should do? Do you think this is a good idea? I just don't want to disappoint anyone. I hope they don't think badly of me. I need to make sure everyone is okay with this. What to say. Self-approved language. I've decided to do this. This works for me. I'm not looking for opinions on this. I'm at peace with my choice. This is what I need. Notice the shift. You are not asking for permission. You are not seeking validation. You are stating your decision. This is what emotional autonomy sounds like. Practical exercise, the approval audit. This exercise reveals how much of your life is driven by other people's expectations. Do this once, honestly. Step 1. Write down 5 recent decisions you made. Examples: what you wore, what job you took, how you spent your weekend, what you posted online, what you said in a conversation. Step 2. For each decision, ask yourself, did I do this because I wanted to, or because I thought someone else wanted me to? Was I trying to impress someone, avoid judgment, or gain approval? Would I have made the same choice if no one was watching? Step 3. Identify the pattern. If most of your decisions are driven by external approval, you are living in the expectation prison. You are not free. You are performing. Step 4. Make one decision this week based only on what you want, not what they expect, not what looks good, not what avoids criticism, just what you actually want. Notice how it feels. Notice the guilt, the fear, the discomfort. Sit with it. That discomfort is the sound of the prison door opening. The truth about disapproval. Here is what no one tells you. People will judge you no matter what you do. If you succeed, they will say you are arrogant. If you fail, they will say they knew it all along. If you are confident, they will call you cocky. If you are humble, they will call you weak. You cannot control what people think of you. You never could. The only thing you can control is whether or not you let their opinions dictate your choices. And here is the liberating part. Most people are not even thinking about you. They are too busy worrying about what you think of them. The audience you are performing for is not paying attention. They are performing too. Everyone is exhausted, pretending, shape-shifting. And no one is free. So stop performing. Stop shrinking. Stop editing yourself for an audience that is not even watching. The people who love the real you will stay. The people who only love the performance will leave. And that is not a loss. That is clarity. Key takeaway. You will never be free if you need everyone to approve of you. Freedom is not about being liked. It is about being yourself and being okay with whoever does not like it. This does not mean you become rude, selfish, or inconsiderate. It means you stop betraying yourself to keep others comfortable. You stop twisting yourself into shapes that fit their expectations. You stop dimming your light so they do not feel overshadowed. You stop apologizing for taking up space. You exist, you have needs, you have preferences, you have boundaries, and you do not need anyone's permission to honor them. The expectation prison only has power if you keep performing. The moment you stop, the walls disappear. You were never trapped. You were just afraid of what would happen if you walked out. Walk out anyway. Chapter 4. The Drama Magnet. Why you attract chaos and how to stop micro-story. Lena's phone buzzes. It is her friend Rachel. Again. You won't believe what happened. I need to talk. Can you call me? Lena sighs. She knows what this means. Another crisis, another breakup, another workplace disaster. Another 2-hour phone call where Rachel vents, ignores advice, and calls back next week with the same problem. Lena wants to ignore it, but guilt pulls her in. What if Rachel really needs me this time? What if something serious happened? She calls. Rachel launches into the story. Her boyfriend said something that hurt her feelings. She is thinking about breaking up with him. Again. Lena listens. She offers perspective. Rachel dismisses it. Lena suggests solutions. Rachel lists reasons why they will not work. An hour passes. Lena is drained. Rachel feels better. The call ends. Lena stares at her phone, frustrated. She just gave an hour of her life to someone who did not want help. She wanted an audience. This is not the first time. Lena has multiple friends like this. People who only call when they need something. People who treat her like an emotional dumping ground. People who create drama and expect her to clean it up. And the question she never asks is, why do I keep attracting this? The psychological mechanism. You do not attract drama by accident. You attract it by permission. Drama thrives in the presence of someone who will tolerate it. Chaotic people do not attach to people with strong boundaries. They attach to people who absorb, fix, and enable. If you are constantly surrounded by dramatic, high-maintenance, crisis-prone people, it is not bad luck. It is a pattern. And the pattern exists because you reward it. Every time you drop everything to help someone who does not help themselves, you teach them that your energy is available on demand. Every time you listen to the same complaint for the 10th time, you teach them that your time has no value. Every time you absorb someone's chaos without consequence, you become their emotional landfill. This is called codependent caregiving. You are not helping them. You are enabling them, and you are destroying yourself in the process. Here is the truth. People who are committed to chaos will stay in chaos. They do not want solutions, they want attention, they do not want to change. They want you to manage their emotions so they do not have to. And as long as you keep showing up, they will keep creating crisis. Real-world examples. Example 1. The crisis friend. You have a friend who only texts when something is wrong. They never ask how you are. They never show up for your struggles, but the moment they have a problem, you are expected to drop everything. This is not friendship. This is a one-way emotional transaction. Example 2. The victim narcissist. Someone in your life is always the victim. Every story is about how someone wronged them. Every problem is someone else's fault. You offer advice, they reject it. You suggest change, they list excuses. They do not want help. They want validation for staying stuck. Example 3. The energy vampire coworker. A coworker constantly complains about the boss, the workload, other coworkers. They pull you into their negativity. You try to stay positive. They drag you back down. After every interaction, you feel exhausted. They feel energized. You just gave them your energy and they took it without asking. Exact scripts. What to say. What not to say. What not to say. Enabling drama. I'm always here for you. You can call me anytime. Let me help you figure this out. That's terrible. What are you going to do? I'm so sorry that happened to you. What to say. Detached boundaries. That sounds difficult. What are you going to do about it? I trust you'll handle that. I'm not available to talk right now. I've noticed this is a pattern. Have you thought about seeing a therapist? I care about you, but I can't carry this for you. The difference: the first set invites more drama. The second set creates a boundary and redirects responsibility back to them. Practical exercise: the drama detox. This exercise helps you identify and eliminate chaos from your life. Do this over the next 7 days. Step 1. Track your emotional energy. For 1 week, write down every interaction that drains you. Who was involved? What happened? How did you feel after? Step 2. Identify the repeat offenders. Look at your list. Who shows up multiple times? Who consistently takes without giving? Who always has a crisis? Step 3. Set a boundary or cut contact. For each repeat offender, decide, can I set a boundary with this person? Limit contact, stop engaging with drama, refuse to be their therapist. Or do I need to remove them from my life entirely? Step 4. Enforce without explanation. You do not owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace. If someone asks why you are distant, you can say, I'm focusing on my own well-being right now. I'm not available for these kinds of conversations anymore. I need space. Do not justify. Do not apologize. Do not negotiate. The hard truth about helping: you cannot help people who do not want to help themselves. You cannot save people who are addicted to their chaos. You cannot fix people who are not ready to change. You cannot love someone into healing. You cannot care someone into growth. And the more you try, the more you lose yourself. Real help is not absorbing someone's pain. Real help is holding them accountable. Real help is saying, I love you, but I will not enable this. Real help is stepping back so they are forced to step up. Most people are not looking for help. They are looking for an audience. They are looking for someone to validate their victimhood. They are looking for someone to manage their emotions so they do not have to. Do not be that person. You are not a therapist. You are not a savior. You are not responsible for other people's emotional regulation. Your job is to protect your energy. Your job is to guard your peace. Your job is to show up for people who show up for you. Everyone else? Let them go. The energy exchange test. Healthy relationships are built on reciprocity. Toxic relationships are built on extraction. Ask yourself this about every person in your life. Does this person give as much as they take? Do I feel energized or drained after spending time with them? Do they show up for me the way I show up for them? If the answer is no, you are not in a relationship. You are in a one-way transaction, and it is costing you everything. Stop giving your energy to people who do not value it. Stop making yourself available to people who only need you when they are falling apart. You are not a crisis hotline. You are not an emotional dumpster. You are a human being with limits. And those limits deserve to be respected. Key takeaway: you do not attract drama because you are unlucky. You attract drama because you allow it. The moment you stop tolerating chaos, chaos stops showing up. The moment you stop rewarding dysfunction, dysfunctional people leave your life. This does not make you cold. This makes you healthy. Boundaries are not walls. Boundaries are filters. They let in what nourishes you and keep out what drains you. You are allowed to outgrow people. You are allowed to cut off people who take more than they give. You are allowed to walk away from relationships that feel like work. Peace is not something you find. Peace is something you protect, and sometimes protecting your peace means letting go of people you once loved. That is not cruelty. That is survival. Chapter 5. The Reactive Loop. How to Stop Being Triggered by Everything Micro-Story. Daniel is sitting at dinner with his girlfriend, Emily. The conversation is light. Everything is fine. Then Emily says something small, something casual. You've been distant lately. Daniel's body reacts before his mind does. His jaw tightens. His chest clenches. His mind races. Distant? I'm not distant. I've been working, I've been tired. Why does she always do this? He snaps back. I'm not distant. You're overthinking. Emily goes quiet. The mood shifts. Dinner is ruined. Daniel knows he overreacted, but he cannot stop himself. He feels defensive, attacked, misunderstood. Later that night, he replays the moment in his head. Why did I react like that? She wasn't even accusing me. She was just expressing how she felt. But in the moment, his body took over. His emotions hijacked him. And now he has to repair something that did not need to break. This is the reactive loop. And it is costing you relationships, peace, and respect. The psychological mechanism. A trigger is not the event itself. A trigger is your learned response to the event. When someone criticizes you, the words are neutral. But your brain has been conditioned to interpret criticism as danger. So your nervous system activates. Your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, takes over. Your prefrontal cortex, the logical, rational part, goes offline. You are no longer responding to what is happening. You are reacting to what your brain thinks is happening. This is called emotional hijacking, and it happens in milliseconds. The problem is not that you feel emotions. The problem is that you let emotions make decisions for you. Reactive people live in a constant state of defense. They are hyper-alert to perceived threats. A raised eyebrow feels like judgment. A delayed text feels like rejection. A neutral tone feels like anger. They are not responding to reality. They are responding to their interpretation of reality. And that interpretation is shaped by unhealed wounds, unmet needs, and unprocessed trauma. The reactive loop works like this. Trigger, emotional activation, impulsive reaction, regret, repeat. You stay stuck in this cycle because you never pause between the trigger and the reaction. You never create space. You never ask yourself, is this threat real, or does it just feel real? Real-world examples. Example 1. The defensive partner. Your partner gives you feedback. Instead of listening, you immediately defend yourself. You list everything you do right. You turn it into an argument. Later, you realize they were not attacking you. They were trying to communicate, but your defensiveness shut them down. Example 2. The explosive coworker reactor. A coworker makes a comment about your work. You take it personally. You snap back. You send a passive-aggressive email. You complain to others. You create workplace tension over something that could have been a simple clarification. Example 3. The social media rage responder. Someone posts an opinion you disagree with. You feel your blood pressure rise. You type a heated response. You hit send. You refresh obsessively, waiting for their reply. You are now emotionally invested in an argument with a stranger. Your peace is gone. Exact scripts. What to say, what not to say. What not to say, reactive language. You always do this. Why are you attacking me? That's not what I meant, and you know it. You're overreacting. I can't believe you just said that. What to say, regulated language. Let me think about that for a moment. I'm noticing I feel defensive. Give me a second. Can you help me understand what you mean? I hear you. I need some time to process this. I'm going to step away and come back to this. The difference. Reactive language escalates. Regulated language creates space. Practical exercise, the 10-second pause. This exercise interrupts the reactive loop before it starts. Practice it every time you feel triggered. Step 1. Notice the activation. The moment you feel your body react, tension, heat, rapid heartbeat, the urge to speak, stop. Do not speak. Do not move. Just notice. Step 2. Take 3 deep breaths. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 6. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system and calms your body. Step 3. Ask yourself one question. Is this reaction going to bring me closer to peace or further from it? Step 4. Choose your response. If you need to speak, speak calmly. If you need to walk away, walk away. If you need to say nothing, say nothing. But do not react from the activated state. Repeat this process every single time. Over weeks, your brain rewires. The gap between trigger and reaction grows. You stop being controlled by impulse. The truth about triggers. Your triggers are not other people's responsibility, they are yours. Yes, people can be rude, disrespectful, hurtful. But your reaction is your responsibility. You cannot control what people say. You cannot control what people do. But you can control whether or not you let it destabilize you. Most triggers are not about the present moment. They are about the past. Someone criticizes you and it reminds you of a parent who always criticized you. Someone ignores you and it reminds you of being neglected. Someone raises their voice and it reminds you of a time you felt unsafe. You are not reacting to them. You are reacting to an old wound. And until you heal that wound, you will keep getting triggered by people who have nothing to do with it. This is why self-awareness is everything. When you understand your triggers, you stop blaming other people for activating them. You take responsibility. You do the inner work. You stop expecting the world to tiptoe around your unhealed pain. The cost of reactivity. Every time you react impulsively, you lose something. You lose respect. People stop trusting you to stay calm under pressure. You lose relationships. People get tired of walking on eggshells around you. You lose peace. You are constantly in fight or flight mode, emotionally exhausted. You lose clarity. You make decisions from emotion, not logic. You lose power. You hand control of your emotional state to everyone around you. Reactive people are not free. They are controlled by their past, by their wounds, by their nervous system. Non-reactive people are free. They feel everything, but they choose their response. Key takeaway. The space between trigger and response is where your power lives. In that space, you are not a victim. You are not at the mercy of your emotions. You are a conscious human being making a choice. Most people skip that space entirely. They go straight from trigger to reaction. And then they wonder why their life feels out of control. You do not have to live like that. You can train yourself to pause. You can train yourself to regulate. You can train yourself to respond instead of react. This is not about suppressing your emotions. This is about leading them. You feel the anger, you acknowledge it. But you do not let it speak for you. You feel the hurt, you sit with it. But you do not let it dictate your actions. You feel the frustration, you breathe through it. But you do not let it destroy your peace. That is emotional mastery. That is self-control. That is freedom. Stop letting your triggers run your life. Start running them. Chapter 6. The Over-Explainer. Why you owe no one your reasoning micro-story. Anna texts her friend, "I can't make it to the party tonight." Immediately her friend replies, "Why not?" Anna's fingers hover over the keyboard. She feels the pressure to justify herself, to prove she has a good reason, to make sure her friend does not think she is flaky, selfish, or uninterested. She types, "I've had a really long week and I'm just completely exhausted. I was going to come, but I realized I haven't had a single night to myself in 2 weeks and I think I just need to recharge. I hope you're not upset. I really wanted to go, but I just don't think I can handle it tonight. I'm sorry." She hits send, then stares at the message. Why did I just write an essay? Why do I feel like I need to convince her? Her friend replies, "K." Anna feels worse. She over-explained and it did not even matter. She gave a detailed defense for something that required no defense at all. This is the over-explainer's curse, and it is a symptom of a deeper problem. You do not believe your no is enough. The psychological mechanism. When you constantly explain yourself, you are not communicating. You are seeking approval. Over-explaining comes from a belief that your boundaries are not valid unless someone else agrees with them. That your no is not real unless it is justified. That your choices are not acceptable unless they make sense to other people. This is called approval-dependent decision-making, and it gives everyone around you veto power over your life. Here is the truth. You do not owe anyone an explanation for how you spend your time, energy, or attention. Not your friends, not your family, not your co-workers, not even your partner, at least not in the way you think. A simple no is a complete sentence. A boundary does not require a defense. A choice does not need justification. But if you grew up in an environment where your no was challenged, where your boundaries were questioned, where your needs were dismissed unless you could prove they were valid, you learned to explain yourself into exhaustion. You learned that your voice was not enough, that your preference was not enough, that you, just as you are, were not enough. So now, every time you say no, you panic. You feel the need to justify, defend, prove. You are not protecting your boundary, you are negotiating it, and every time you negotiate, you weaken it. Real-world examples. Example 1. The work-over explainer. Your boss asks if you can take on an extra project. You are already overloaded. Instead of saying, "I don't have capacity for that right now," you launch into a detailed explanation of every task on your plate, every deadline you are facing, every reason you cannot possibly take on more. Your boss hears, "I'm overwhelmed and disorganized." What you meant was, "I'm at capacity." But over-explaining made you sound weak, not boundaried. Example 2. The social over-justifier. A friend invites you to an event. You do not want to go. Instead of saying, "I'm not available," you create an elaborate excuse. You list every obligation. You apologize repeatedly. You promise to make it up to them. Now you have lied, exhausted yourself, and set a precedent that your no requires a performance. Example 3. The relationship defender. Your partner asks why you need alone time. Instead of saying, "I need time to recharge," you explain your childhood, your personality type, your stress levels, your need for solitude, and why it has nothing to do with them. You just turned a simple boundary into a therapy session. And now your partner thinks your need for space is a problem that needs solving. Exact scripts. What to say. What not to say. What not to say. Over-explaining. "I'm so sorry, but I just can't. I've been so busy lately and I'm really tired and I have so much going on and I just don't think I can handle it right now. I hope you understand. I wish I could, but I have this thing and also I've been feeling really overwhelmed and I don't want to overcommit myself, you know. I would love to, but I just don't have the energy and I've been trying to set better boundaries and I think I need to prioritize my mental health." What to say. Boundaried clarity. "I'm not available. That doesn't work for me. I'm going to pass. I need time alone. No, thank you." Notice, no apology, no justification, no defense, just a clear, calm statement. Practical exercise. The one sentence. Know this exercise trains you to stop over-explaining. Practice it every day for 2 weeks. Step 1. The next time someone asks something of you that you want to decline, pause. Do not immediately explain. Do not justify. Do not apologize, just pause. Step 2. Respond with one sentence. "I'm not available. That doesn't work for me. I'll have to pass." Step 3. Resist the urge to add more. This is the hardest part. Your brain will scream at you to explain. Your guilt will rise. You will feel rude, cold, selfish. Do not give in. Sit with the discomfort. Step 4. Let the silence sit. If they ask why, you can say, "I don't have the capacity right now. It's just not something I can do." Or simply repeat, It doesn't work for me. You do not owe them more than that. Over time, this becomes natural. You stop performing for approval. You start trusting that your no is enough. The manipulation test. Here is how you know if someone respects your boundaries. They accept your no without demanding an explanation. Healthy people hear your no and move on. Unhealthy people interrogate your no until you give in. If someone responds to your boundary with, "But why?" that doesn't make sense. You can't just say no without a reason. "I don't understand why you're being like this." That is not curiosity. That is manipulation. They are testing whether your boundary is negotiable. And if you explain yourself, you just told them it is. A boundary is not a discussion. It is a statement. And the people who truly care about you will respect it without needing a dissertation on why it exists. The cost of over-explaining. When you constantly justify yourself, you train people to expect justification. Now, every time you say no, they expect a defense. Every time you set a boundary, they expect a debate. Every time you make a choice, they expect a reason that satisfies them. You have turned your autonomy into a courtroom, and you are on trial every single time. This exhausts you, and it disempowers you, because the message you are sending to them and to yourself is, "My needs are not valid unless someone else approves of them." That is not true. Your needs are valid because they are yours. You do not need to earn the right to protect your time. You do not need to justify your rest. You do not need to prove that your boundaries are reasonable. You are an adult. You get to decide how you live, and you do not owe anyone a TED Talk every time you make a decision. Key takeaway. Stop explaining yourself into exhaustion. Your no is not up for debate. Your boundary is not a negotiation. Your choice does not require a defense. The right people will respect your boundaries without needing an explanation. The wrong people will challenge them no matter how much you explain. So stop wasting your energy trying to convince people who were never going to respect you anyway. You are allowed to say no without apology. You are allowed to decline without justification. You are allowed to walk away without explanation. Your life is yours, not theirs, and you do not need their permission to live it. Chapter 7. The Silent Power. Mastering the Art of Non-Response Micro-Story. Kevin receives a long, accusatory text from his brother. It is filled with blame, assumptions, and passive-aggressive jabs. "You never make time for family. You think you're too good for us now. Mom is hurt, but of course you wouldn't notice." Kevin's first instinct is to defend himself, to explain, to correct every false accusation. His fingers move toward the keyboard. Then he stops. He reads the message again. He feels the anger rising in his chest, but instead of responding, he puts his phone down. He walks away. An hour later, he checks his phone. His brother sent another message. "Wow, can't even reply, typical." Kevin still does not respond. 2 days pass. His brother calls. Kevin does not answer. A week goes by. His brother texts again, this time calmer. "Hey, can we talk?" Kevin finally replies, "I'm open to a conversation when you're ready to speak to me with respect." His brother apologizes. Kevin did not argue. He did not defend. He did not engage with the accusation. He simply refused to participate in the chaos. And that refusal changed everything. The psychological mechanism. Silence is the most underrated form of power. Most people believe that power comes from having the last word, from defending yourself, from proving you are right. But real power comes from knowing when not to engage at all. When someone attacks you, criticizes you, or tries to provoke you, they are offering you an invitation to enter their emotional battlefield, an invitation to argue, defend, explain, and exhaust yourself. You do not have to accept that invitation. Non-response is not passive. It is strategic. It is a refusal to give your energy to people and situations that do not deserve it. Here is what happens when you do not respond. The other person loses their power. They were expecting a reaction. Without it, they have nothing to push against. You protect your peace. You do not absorb their chaos. You do not let their words destabilize you. You maintain control. You did not let them dictate your emotional state. You chose not to engage. This is called strategic silence, and it is one of the most powerful tools in emotional detachment. But most people cannot do it, because silence feels like weakness. It feels like letting someone get away with something. It feels like losing. But silence is not surrender. Silence is sovereignty. Real-world examples. Example 1. The bait text. Someone sends you a message designed to provoke you. A passive-aggressive comment, a veiled insult, a guilt trip. Your first instinct is to respond, to correct, to defend. Instead, you do nothing. You read it. You feel the urge. You let it pass. You do not reply. Hours later, they send another message. Did you see my text? You still do not respond. Or you respond with, I saw it. No explanation, no engagement, just acknowledgement. They realize they cannot bait you. Example 2. The social media provocation. Someone leaves a rude comment on your post. Others are arguing with them. You are tempted to join in, to defend yourself, to shut them down. Instead, you delete the comment and move on. Or you leave it and do not respond. You do not feed the troll. You do not waste your energy. Later, you notice they stopped commenting because they did not get what they wanted, your reaction. Example 3. The family drama. A family member sends a long emotional message accusing you of something you did not do. They are spiraling. They want you to engage, to fight, to explain. You do not. You wait. You let them calm down. Days later, when they are regulated, you reply, I'm willing to have a conversation when we can both stay calm. You set the terms. You do not engage with chaos. You engage with clarity. Exact scripts. What to say. What not to say. What not to say. Reactive engagement. That's not what happened, and you know it. I can't believe you would say that to me. You're being completely unfair. Why are you attacking me? Let me explain what actually happened. What to say. Strategic non-response or minimal response. Silence. I'm not going to engage with this. I'll respond when you're ready to speak respectfully. I see your message. I'm not available for this conversation. The difference. Reactive engagement gives them what they want, your emotional energy. Strategic silence withholds it. Practical exercise. The 24-hour rule. This exercise trains you to stop reacting impulsively. Use it whenever you receive a message, email, or situation that triggers you. Step 1. Do not respond immediately. Close the message. Put your phone down. Walk away. Do not let the urge to respond control you. Step 2. Wait 24 hours. Give yourself a full day before you respond. This allows the emotional charge to dissolve. It allows you to think clearly. Step 3. After 24 hours, ask yourself, do I still feel the need to respond? Will responding improve the situation or escalate it? Am I responding to defend myself or to clarify something important? Step 4. Decide. If the answer is still yes, respond calmly and briefly. If the answer is no, do not respond at all. Most of the time, you will realize the message did not deserve a response in the first place. When silence is the strongest response. There are situations where saying nothing is the most powerful move you can make. When someone is trying to provoke you, do not give them the satisfaction. Let your silence speak for you. When someone is being disrespectful, do not argue. Disengage. Show them that disrespect does not earn your attention. When someone is speaking from emotion, not logic, wait. Let them regulate. Then, if necessary, engage calmly. When someone is gossiping or creating drama, do not participate. Walk away. Refuse to be part of the narrative. When someone demands an explanation you do not owe, say nothing or say, "I don't need to explain myself." Silence is not weakness. Silence is strength under control. The power of withholding your reaction. Every time you refuse to engage, you teach people how to treat you. You teach them that you do not respond to manipulation. You teach them that you do not tolerate disrespect. You teach them that your energy is not freely available. You teach them that you are not easily controlled. This does not make you cold. This makes you unmovable. People who are used to controlling you through emotional outbursts, guilt trips, or provocations will be confused at first. They will escalate. They will try harder to get a reaction. Do not give in. Let them exhaust themselves. Let them realize that their tactics no longer work. Over time, they will either adjust their behavior or remove themselves from your life. Either way, you win. The cost of always responding. When you respond to everything, you become reactive. You become predictable. You become exhausting. You train people to expect immediate access to you. Immediate explanations. Immediate resolutions. You turn yourself into an on-demand emotional service. And that is not sustainable. You are not required to respond to every message, every accusation, every demand for your attention. You are not required to engage with every person who wants to pull you into their chaos. Your time is valuable. Your energy is valuable. Your peace is valuable. Stop giving it away to people who do not respect it. Key takeaway. Not every battle needs to be fought. Not every accusation needs to be answered. Not every provocation deserves your attention. Silence is not avoidance. Silence is discernment. You do not respond because you are unbothered. You do not engage because you are secure. You do not defend because you know your truth does not need validation from people who have already decided to misunderstand you. Master the art of non-response and you master emotional detachment. Let them say what they want. Let them think what they want. Let them project, accuse, and spiral. You do not have to join them. You stay still, you stay silent, you stay free, and that is power. Chapter 8. The Energy Audit. Protect your peace like it's your paycheck micro-story. Claire wakes up exhausted. Again. She did not sleep poorly, she did not stay up late, but she feels drained before the day even starts. She checks her phone. 15 messages, 3 missed calls. A long voice note from a friend venting about her relationship. A text from her mother asking why she has not called in 3 days. A group chat blowing up with complaints about work. She has not even gotten out of bed and she already feels the weight of everyone else's needs pressing down on her. She drags herself through the day. Every conversation takes something from her. Every request pulls her further away from herself. By the evening, she has nothing left. She collapses on the couch, scrolling mindlessly, too tired to do anything she actually wants to do. She looks at her calendar. Tomorrow is the same. The day after the same. She is busy, but she is not fulfilled. She is connected, but she is not nourished. She is available to everyone except herself, and she has no idea how she got here. The psychological mechanism. Energy is a finite resource. You do not have unlimited capacity. You do not have endless reserves. You are not a machine. But you have been living like you are. You say yes to everything. You give to everyone. You make yourself available at all times. You absorb other people's emotions, problems, and crises. You carry what is not yours to carry. And you wonder why you are always tired. This is called energy depletion. And it happens because you never learn to audit where your energy is going. Think of your energy like money. Every interaction, every commitment, every conversation is a transaction. Some transactions give you energy, some take it, and some drain you completely. Most people do not track their energy. They give it away freely, without awareness, without boundaries. And then they are shocked when they have nothing left. But if you treated your energy the way you treat your bank account, if you tracked what you spent, evaluated whether it was worth it, and protected what you had, you would stop bleeding energy to people and situations that do not serve you. Real-world examples. Example 1. The always available friend. You are the friend everyone calls when they need something, advice, support, a listening ear. But no one calls to check on you. No one asks how you are. You give and give, but the relationship is one-sided. You are being drained, not nourished. Example 2. The social obligation trap. You attend events you do not want to attend. You spend time with people who exhaust you. You say yes to plans out of guilt, not desire. You are spending your energy on relationships that deplete you instead of relationships that refill you. Example 3. The digital energy leak. You scroll social media for hours. You read the news obsessively. You engage in arguments with strangers online. You consume content that makes you anxious, angry, or insecure. You are hemorrhaging energy into a void that gives you nothing in return. Exact scripts. What to say. What not to say. What not to say. Energy-draining language. I'm always here if you need me. I can make time for that. I'll figure it out. I don't mind. It's no problem. What to say. Energy-protecting language. I don't have the capacity for that right now. I need to prioritize my rest. I'm not available. That doesn't align with my energy right now. I'm protecting my peace this week. The difference: the first set is an open invitation for people to drain you. The second set is a closed boundary that protects your reserves. Practical exercise. The energy audit. This exercise helps you identify where your energy is going and where it needs to stop. Do this once a week. Step 1. List your energy investments. Write down everything you gave your energy to this week. People, activities, commitments, digital consumption, conversations. Step 2. Categorize them. For each item, ask, does this give me energy or does it take energy? Does this nourish me or does it drain me? Is this something I chose or something I felt obligated to do? Step 3. Identify the leaks. Circle everything that drains you. These are your energy leaks. These are the places where you are losing peace, time, and vitality. Step 4. Eliminate or limit. For each energy leak, decide, can I remove this completely? Can I set a boundary around it? Can I reduce how much time and energy I give to it? Then act. Cut what does not serve you. Limit what drains you. Protect what refills you. The truth about people who drain you. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some people are energy vampires. They take and never give. They show up only when they need something. They leave you exhausted every time you interact with them. And you let them. Because you think that is what caring looks like. But caring does not mean sacrificing yourself. Caring does not mean letting people use you. Caring does not mean being available to people who are never available to you. You are allowed to protect your energy from people who only take. You are allowed to stop giving to people who do not give back. You are allowed to remove people from your life who consistently leave you drained. This is not cruelty. This is self-preservation. The cost of ignoring the audit. When you do not protect your energy, you become a ghost in your own life. You stop doing the things you love. You stop creating. You stop resting. You stop enjoying anything because you have nothing left to give to yourself. You become resentful. You snap at people. You feel bitter, burned out, and empty. You do not recognize yourself anymore. And the worst part, the people you gave everything to do not even notice. Because they were never paying attention to how much you were sacrificing. They were just taking what you offered. You cannot pour from an empty cup. and you cannot refill your cup if you never stop pouring. Energy positive vs. Energy negative people. Energy positive people show up for you the way you show up for them. Respect your boundaries, make you feel lighter after spending time with them. Give as much as they take. Energy negative people only reach out when they need something. Ignore or challenge your boundaries. Leave you feeling exhausted, anxious, or frustrated. Take more than they ever give. Do the audit. Identify who is positive and who is negative. Then adjust your access accordingly. You do not owe your energy to people who drain it. The permission you need. You are allowed to rest without earning it. You are allowed to say no without guilt. You are allowed to prioritize yourself without explanation. You are allowed to remove people who consistently drain you. You are allowed to protect your peace like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your energy is your life force. It is what allows you to show up, to create, to love, to grow. When you lose it, you lose yourself. Stop giving it away to people and situations that do not honor it. Key takeaway. Your energy is your most valuable resource. Treat it that way. You would not let someone drain your bank account without your permission. Do not let them drain your energy either. Do the audit. Identify the leaks. Eliminate them. Protect what refills you. This is not selfish. This is survival. You cannot be emotionally detached if you are constantly depleted. You cannot stay grounded if you are always giving yourself away. Guard your energy. Protect your peace. Choose yourself because no one else will do it for you. Chapter 9. The Detachment Practice. Care deeply, attach lightly. Micro story. Sarah's best friend calls her, sobbing. She failed an exam. She is convinced her life is over. She is spiraling. Sarah listens. She offers perspective. She reminds her friend of all the times she has bounced back before. But her friend is not listening. She is stuck in the emotion. Sarah feels herself being pulled in. Her chest tightens. She starts to feel anxious. She wants to fix this. She wants to make her friend feel better. She needs her friend to calm down so she can calm down. But then Sarah stops. She takes a breath. She reminds herself, this is not my crisis. I can care without carrying. She says, I hear you. This is really hard, and I trust that you will figure this out. Her friend pauses. You're not going to tell me it's going to be okay? Sarah replies, I believe you're strong enough to handle this. I'm here, but I'm not going to carry this for you. Her friend is quiet for a moment, then she says, You're right. I just needed to vent. I'll be okay. The call ends. Sarah feels calm. She cared, but she did not collapse under the weight of her friend's emotion. That is detachment. That is freedom. The psychological mechanism. Detachment is not indifference. Detachment is caring without losing yourself in the process. Most people confuse detachment with coldness. They think detachment means you do not care, that you disconnect, that you become emotionally unavailable. But that is not detachment. That is avoidance. True detachment is this. You can love someone deeply and still not make their problems your emergency. You can support someone fully and still not sacrifice your peace. You can be present without being consumed. This is called healthy detachment. And it is the cornerstone of emotional freedom. Here is the difference. Attachment says, if you are not okay, I am not okay. Detachment says, I care about you, but your emotional state does not control mine. Attachment says, I need to fix this for you. Detachment says, I trust you to handle this. I am here if you need me. Attachment says, your pain is my responsibility. Detachment says, I can witness your pain without absorbing it. Detachment is not about caring less. It is about caring without collapsing. Real-world examples. Example 1. The parent who lets go. Your adult child is struggling. They made a bad decision. They are suffering the consequences. You want to rescue them. You want to fix it. But instead, you step back. You say, I believe in your ability to figure this out. I'm here if you need advice, but I'm not going to solve this for you. You care, but you do not carry. That is detachment. Example 2. The partner who stays grounded. Your partner is stressed about work. They are venting, pacing, spiraling. You feel the pull to take on their stress, to solve their problems, to calm them down so you can feel okay. But instead, you stay grounded. You listen. You validate. But you do not absorb. You say, that sounds really hard. I trust you'll handle it. You support without sinking. That is detachment. Example 3. The friend who does not fix. Your friend keeps making the same mistakes. They ask for advice. You give it. They ignore it. They call again with the same problem. This time you do not engage. You say, I've shared my thoughts on this before. I trust you'll figure out what's best for you. You care, but you do not enable. That is detachment. Exact scripts. What to say, what not to say, what not to say. Attached over-functioning. Let me help you fix this. Don't worry, I'll take care of it. You shouldn't feel that way. I can't stand to see you like this. What can I do to make this better? What to say. Detached, grounded. I trust you to handle this. That sounds hard. What do you think you'll do? I'm here, but I can't carry this for you. I believe in your ability to figure this out. I hear you and I know you'll get through it. The difference. Attached language takes responsibility. Detached language gives it back. Practical exercise. The witness practice. This exercise trains you to be present without being consumed. Practice it in every emotionally charged conversation. Step 1. Breathe and center yourself. Before you engage, take 3 deep breaths. Ground yourself in your body. Remind yourself, I can care without carrying. Step 2. Listen without absorbing. As the other person speaks, notice when you feel the pull to take on their emotion. Notice when you start to feel their anxiety, their sadness, their anger. Step 3. Visualize a boundary. Imagine a clear, invisible boundary between you and them. Their emotion stays on their side. You stay on yours. You can see it. You can witness it, but you do not absorb it. Step 4. Respond with empathy, not rescue. Instead of rushing to fix, solve, or soothe, simply reflect back what you hear. That sounds really difficult. I hear how frustrated you are. That makes sense that you'd feel that way. You acknowledge without taking it on. You witness without drowning. Step 5. Release after the interaction. After the conversation, physically release. Shake your hands. Take deep breaths. Say out loud, I release what is not mine. This trains your nervous system to stay separate, even while staying present. The paradox of detachment. Here is what most people do not understand. When you detach, your relationships get better. When you stop over-functioning, people start functioning for themselves. When you stop rescuing, people start finding their own strength. When you stop carrying, people start carrying their own weight. Attachment creates dependency. Detachment creates empowerment. When you are attached, you send the message, I don't trust you to handle this. I need to do it for you. When you are detached, you send the message, I trust you, I believe in you, you are capable. And people rise to that. The irony is, the more you try to control, fix, and save, the weaker the other person becomes. The more you step back and trust, the stronger they become. Detachment is not abandonment. It is respect. It is the ultimate act of love. The cost of attachment. When you are emotionally attached to other people's outcomes, you lose yourself. You stop having your own emotions because you are too busy managing theirs. You stop living your own life because you are too busy living theirs. You stop knowing who you are because you have become an extension of them. This is called enmeshment, and it destroys relationships. Because when you are attached, you become resentful. You give and give and give, and then you blame them for taking. But they did not take. You offered. You insisted. You made their problems yours. And now you are angry at them for something you did to yourself. Detachment protects you from this. It allows you to care without losing yourself. It allows you to love without becoming someone else's emotional life support system. The freedom of detachment. When you master detachment, you become free. Free from the need to control other people's emotions. Free from the exhaustion of carrying what is not yours. Free from the anxiety of needing everyone around you to be okay before you can be okay. You can be in the presence of someone's pain without making it your own. You can support someone's struggle without needing to fix it. You can love someone deeply without making their happiness your responsibility. This is the ultimate form of emotional mastery. This is what it means to be emotionally untouchable. Not because you do not feel, but because you feel everything and still remain yourself. Key takeaway: care deeply. Attach lightly. You can love people and still let them carry their own burdens. You can support people and still let them find their own solutions. You can be present and still protect your peace. Detachment is not coldness. It is clarity. It is the ability to see where you end and someone else begins. It is the ability to say, I care about you, but I will not drown with you. Master this and you master emotional freedom. Chapter 10. The Reclamation. Building a life that does not need fixing. Micro story. For years, Michael lived in reaction mode. He woke up to other people's needs. He answered every call. He said yes to every request. He managed everyone's emotions, solved everyone's problems, and made himself available at all times. He thought that was what being a good person meant. But one day he looked around and realized his life was full of people but empty of meaning. He was busy but not fulfilled. He was connected but deeply alone. He had built his entire life around other people, and in doing so, he had forgotten to build one for himself. So he made a decision. He started saying no. He started protecting his time. He started asking himself a question he had never asked before. What do I actually want? At first it felt selfish, uncomfortable, wrong. But slowly something shifted. He started waking up with energy. He started doing things that made him feel alive. He started spending time with people who gave as much as they took. He stopped being everyone's emotional support system, and he started being his own. And for the first time in his life, he felt free. The psychological mechanism. You cannot be emotionally detached if your life is built around other people's needs. Detachment is not just a skill. It is a lifestyle. It is the result of building a life that is so fulfilling, so aligned, so deeply yours, that you no longer need external validation, approval, or drama to feel alive. Most people do not have this. Most people have built their lives around what other people expect, need, or want from them. They chose a career to please their parents. They stay in relationships to avoid disappointing someone. They say yes to things they hate because they fear rejection. They perform, adapt, and shrink to fit into spaces that were never meant for them. And then they wonder why they feel empty. This is called living in external reference. Your life is not yours. It is a reflection of everyone else's expectations. The reclamation is about taking your life back. It is about building a life so intentional, so aligned with your values, that you no longer need to borrow meaning from other people. When your life is full, you do not need to fill it with other people's chaos. When your life is purposeful, you do not need to derive purpose from fixing others. When your life is peaceful, you do not tolerate anything that disrupts that peace. Real-world examples. Example 1. The career realignment. You have been in a job you hate for years. You stay because it is stable, because it looks good, because people respect the title, but it drains you. The reclamation means asking, what do I actually want? And then having the courage to pursue it, even if it disappoints others. Example 2. The relationship purge. You have friendships that feel like work. People who only reach out when they need something. People who drain you every time you interact. The reclamation means letting them go, not with anger, not with drama, just with clarity. You stop making yourself available to people who do not value you. Example 3. The time sovereignty. Your calendar is full of obligations you did not choose, events you do not want to attend, commitments you made out of guilt. The reclamation means taking back your time, saying no, canceling plans, protecting your schedule like it is sacred. Because it is. Exact scripts. What to say, what not to say. What not to say, external reference. I should probably do this. People will think I'm selfish if I don't. I don't want to let anyone down. I feel guilty for choosing myself. What will they think? What to say, internal reference. This is what I need. This is what works for me. I'm choosing myself. I'm building the life I want. I'm not available for things that don't align with my peace. The difference? External reference lives in fear of judgment. Internal reference lives in alignment with self. Practical exercise. The life audit. This exercise helps you identify what needs to stay and what needs to go. Do this once every 3 months. Step 1. List everything in your life. Relationships, work, commitments, habits, activities, anything that takes your time or energy. Step 2. For each item, ask 3 questions. Does this align with who I want to be? Does this bring me peace, joy, or growth? Would I choose this if I had no obligations? Step 3. Categorize. Keep. Things that align, nourish, and fulfill you. Adjust. Things that could work with boundaries or changes. Remove. Things that drain, diminish, or misalign with your values. Step 4. Take action. Keep what serves you. Set boundaries around what needs adjustment. Remove what does not belong. This is not a one-time process. This is ongoing. Your life will try to fill up with things you did not choose. The audit keeps you in control. The truth about building your own life. When you start living for yourself, people will be uncomfortable. They will call you selfish. They will say you have changed. They will guilt you, question you, or pull away. Let them. Because the people who are upset that you stopped over-functioning were only in your life because you were useful to them. They were not there for you. They were there for what you gave them, and when you stop giving, they leave. That is not a loss, that is clarity. The right people will respect your boundaries. The right people will celebrate your growth. The right people will show up for you the way you have always shown up for them. Everyone else was just taking up space. The reclamation checklist. You know you have reclaimed your life when you wake up with energy, not dread. You spend time doing things you actually enjoy. You say no without guilt. You have space in your schedule for rest, creativity, and solitude. You are surrounded by people who give as much as they take. You do not need external validation to feel worthy. You protect your peace above all else. This is not selfish. This is self-respect. This is emotional sovereignty. The cost of not reclaiming your life. If you do not take your life back, you will spend it in service to everyone but yourself. You will wake up one day and realize you have no idea who you are. You will have lived someone else's life. You will have sacrificed your dreams, your peace, your joy for people who never asked you to. And the worst part, they will not even notice, because they were never paying attention to how much you were giving. They were just taking what you offered. Do not let that be your story. the permission you need. You are allowed to choose yourself. You are allowed to disappoint people. You are allowed to live a life that makes no sense to anyone but you. You are allowed to remove people who do not serve your growth. You are allowed to rest, to play, to create, to exist without being useful. You do not need anyone's permission to live your life. But if you are waiting for it, here it is. Live for yourself. Build the life you want. Protect it fiercely. Key takeaway. Emotional detachment is not just about managing your emotions, it is about building a life so aligned, so intentional, so deeply yours that nothing outside of you can destabilize it. When your life is full, you do not need drama to feel alive. When your life is purposeful, you do not need validation to feel worthy. When your life is peaceful, you do not tolerate chaos. This is the reclamation. This is the final step. You stop reacting to everyone else's life, and you start living your own. That is freedom. That is power. That is emotional mastery. Now go build it. Conclusion. You made it. You have walked through 10 chapters of truth, discomfort, and reclamation. You have learned what most people will never learn. That emotional detachment is not coldness. It is mastery. You now know that you are not responsible for other people's emotions. That their chaos is not your emergency. That their expectations are not your instructions. That their approval is not your worth. You know that guilt is not proof of wrongdoing. That silence is not weakness. That boundaries are not cruelty. That saying no is not selfish. You know that you can care deeply without carrying. That you can love fiercely without losing yourself. That you can be present without being consumed. This is not the end. This is the beginning. Because emotional detachment is not something you achieve once and forget. It is something you practice every single day. Every time you feel the pull to over-explain, you will pause. Every time you feel the urge to fix someone, you will step back. Every time you feel guilt for protecting your peace, you will remind yourself, I am not responsible for managing other people's feelings. Every time someone tries to provoke you, you will stay silent. Every time someone tries to guilt you, you will stay grounded. Every time someone tries to drain you, you will close the door. This is the practice. This is the discipline. This is the life you are building. The transformation you have made when you started this audiobook, you were exhausted, overwhelmed, entangled in everyone else's emotions, needs, and drama. You were the emotional sponge, the guilt-driven yes person, the over-explainer, the fixer, the one who carried everyone's weight and wondered why you had nothing left. But now, you are different. You are no longer controlled by other people's moods. You are no longer defined by other people's opinions. You are no longer drained by other people's chaos. You have learned to feel everything and react to nothing. You have learned to care without collapsing. You have learned to love without losing yourself. You are emotionally untouchable, not because you stopped caring, but because you finally learned how to care without carrying. The life you are building. This is what your life looks like now. You wake up with energy because you are no longer giving it away to people who do not deserve it. You say no without guilt because you know your boundaries are not up for negotiation. You walk away from drama because you value your peace more than you value being right. You protect your time like it is sacred because it is. You surround yourself with people who give as much as they take because you finally understand that one-sided relationships are not relationships at all. You do not need external validation because you have built a life so aligned with your values that you no longer need anyone's approval to feel whole. You are calm, grounded, free. This is emotional mastery. This is the life you deserve. This is the life you are now living. The people you will lose. Not everyone will make it into this new version of your life, and that is okay. Some people will be upset that you are no longer available on demand. Some people will be offended that you stopped over-functioning. Some people will call you selfish for finally choosing yourself. Let them. Because the people who are angry that you set boundaries were only in your life because you did not have any. The people who are upset that you stopped carrying them were never interested in walking beside you. The people who punish you for protecting your peace were never meant to stay. You will lose people, but you will gain yourself, and that is the greatest trade you will ever make. The people you will attract when you stop tolerating chaos, you stop attracting it. When you stop overgiving, you stop attracting takers. When you stop shrinking yourself, you start attracting people who celebrate you. The right people will respect your boundaries. The right people will honor your energy. The right people will show up for you the way you have always shown up for them. And those are the only people who belong in your life. The reminder you need. On the days when guilt creeps back in, remind yourself, I am not responsible for other people's emotions. On the days when you feel the pull to over-explain, remind yourself, my no is enough. On the days when you feel tempted to fix someone, remind yourself, I can care without carrying. On the days when you feel drained, remind yourself, my energy is mine to protect. On the days when you feel like you are being too much or not enough, remind yourself, I am exactly who I need to be. You do not need to be anything other than yourself. You do not need to shrink, perform, or apologize for taking up space. You are allowed to exist, fully, freely, unapologetically. The final truth. Emotional detachment is not about becoming untouchable in the sense that you no longer feel. It is about becoming untouchable in the sense that nothing outside of you can destabilize you. You feel everything, but you are no longer controlled by it. You care deeply, but you no longer collapse under the weight of it. You love fiercely, but you no longer lose yourself in it. That is freedom. That is power. That is mastery. You are no longer at the mercy of other people's chaos. You are no longer defined by other people's expectations. You are no longer drained by other people's needs. You are whole. You are grounded. You are free. And nothing, no person, no situation, no emotion can take that from you. The promise. If you practice what you have learned in this audiobook, your life will change. Not overnight, not all at once, but slowly, steadily, deeply. You will stop feeling guilty for protecting your peace. You will stop feeling drained by other people's chaos. You will stop feeling like you owe everyone an explanation. You will start feeling calm, clear, in control. You will start choosing yourself without apology. You will start living a life that is deeply, fully, unapologetically yours. This is not a fantasy. This is not wishful thinking. This is what happens when you commit to emotional detachment. This is what happens when you stop reacting and start reclaiming. This is what happens when you finally understand. You are not responsible for other people's emotions. You are only responsible for your own. The final words. You are not cold for setting boundaries. You are not selfish for choosing yourself. You are not cruel for walking away from what drains you. You are strong. You are wise. You are free. You are emotionally untouchable. Now go live like it. If this audiobook has brought you clarity, strength, or peace, consider supporting the channel so more people can find this message. Please like this audio and subscribe. Your support helps this work reach those who feel overwhelmed, anxious, or unprotected, and gives them a path back to calm, confidence, and emotional freedom. Thank you for listening. Stay grounded. Stay wise. You are the anchor in every storm.